Nah, man, I don't a songsters, boy. Red Stripe Premier League champion, boy.
Red Stripe Football Mondays. It's 29 degrees Celsius at the moment. Very little chance of rain tonight. Humidity at 69%. And there is a bit of wind here, as we have been accustomed to over the years at Harbour View. It's on the south coast of Jamaica. Luton Shelton being honoured tonight. That's why we're here in this frame of mind tonight, because Luton Shelton suffering from ALS, degenerative motor neuron disease, and the team and the entire football fraternity embracing this young man, 32 years old, whose football career has been taken away from him because of this disease.
Yeah, so players to watch for Harbourview. That's one of them, Nicholas Beckett. Usually wears the captain's armband. Not tonight, though. He plays now in the midfield. He usually plays as a centre-half, versatile enough to play from the back. You expect, Lance, that he has to be solid this evening, has to control the opposition's attack from his midfield station for Harbourview to have a chance in this game.
Yeah, very strong player, Nicholas Beckett. Tyree McGee, 19-year-old Jamaica College standout. Very, very outstanding young player. A high degree of skill. And Harbourview and their coach, Billy Gardner, has this to say.
Ricardo, tough assignment tonight against one of the form teams in the league. How well is your team going into the game?
Well, I think we're a pretty decent week. I think we are well prepared. We just need to go out there now and execute on game day. And this is the reason why we train weekly, to come out here and make a good account of ourselves. So I think we are in pretty good condition to go out there and make a very good display for ourselves tonight.
The last time we were here, you put in a good performance. The crowd liked much of what they saw, but you didn't get the goals, and then you had some issues in goalkeeping. Is the team in a better frame of mind from that setback against Portmore coming into this game against Mount Peasant?
Yeah, I think we're in a very good place, because we went to Dunbley and we got our first 3 points, and that's only a boost for tonight's game. And as I said before, I think it was a pretty decent week, and we just only have to come out here tonight and really execute and just go out there and enjoy and have fun, and at the end of the day, clean sheet, win games, and we have to do our best at the other end also. So we are looking for a very good, difficult encounter, but I think we are ready enough to go out there and make a good account of ourselves, as I said before.
Final question. You look at the table and Harbourview second from bottom. It's early in the competition. Are you concerned? Are the boys concerned?
I mean, it's early doors. I try to get them upbeat as much as possible. You know, sometimes the position, it is what it is, and there's nothing you can do about it, but it's still early doors. We just have to take each game as it comes, and just go there and do what we can do, and make a better showcase of ourselves, because I think we are much better than what we are showing so far.
Ricardo Bibi Gardner. There's Devon Hodges, 34 years old, George, but still very, very potent.
Yeah, he's a core specialist in the Red Stripe Premier League. Devon Hodges will be the most dangerous attacker on the field, bar none. If he gets half a chance, he'll put it away.
Very, very well travelled and very, very outstanding. Cardel Benbow, former St. George's College Manning Cup standout, George. 23 years old, very exciting player on the flank.
Quicker than a rattlesnake, Lance, and as dangerous Cardel Benbow, and he will have to be marked very, very closely tonight to keep him quiet. If you keep him quiet, you have a chance of beating this Mount Pleasant team.
Benbow, Mount Pleasant. Donovan Ducky now in charge of this St. Anne unit.
First of all, let me say a special good evening to your listeners and viewers. First of all, the occasion is a huge one. We have to also support the fight against this dreadful disease that Luton is suffering with. We are here as part of the celebration, and also we're here to play a competitive game. So my respect goes out to him and his family. We don't want to be overburdened by the occasion. We understand that it's a huge occasion, but we're just here for the 3 points. We understand our project and what it exemplifies and what we have to do tonight. So we're pretty confident coming into the game. We know that Harbourview is always a good team at home, a good team away. You have seen the Premier League, the scores for yesterday. Any team can win on a day. We have underestimated teams and we have lost. We have underestimated teams and we have drawn game. So tonight we have to be very prepared to play against this team, and we hopefully will have a good game tonight.
Finally, the issue is that your team suffered an unexpected loss. Would you see that as a nice reality check in case some players were starting to get carried away with the start you've had to the season?
Well, I wouldn't say it's unexpected because all the teams in the Premier League have quality. Any team can win on any day. I've always said that the Jamaica RSPL is like the EPL, and on any day you can turn up and lose, and any day you could turn up and win. But in retrospect, it's a good reality check for us because of the name, Dunbeholden. So it's Waterhouse, it's Portmore, it's Tivoli. So we turned up. The mental is high, and the high level of competitiveness is present. Then it's Dunbeholden, and they've just been promoted like us, and we laid back in terms of the psychological effort. So it's a good reality check also for us, and it's something that we have to improve on.
Yes, so Donovan Duque pretty much conceding that there was some complacency creeping in the only loss they've had so far in the season, that coming to Dunbeholden. But a victory for the Mount Pleasant team tonight will take them joint top of the table on 13 points with Portmore, and if they win big by 4 or 5 goals, they'll be the sole leaders. It's unlikely that that will happen, but who knows? It's football. We go to break. We'll be back with the kickoff after this.
Nah, man, I don't a songsters, boy. Red Stripe Premier League champion, boy.
Shelton Strong. Show your support. Be Shelton Strong.
Superb.
The Jamaica Reggae Boys' all-time leading scorer is diagnosed with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, and you can help. Make contributions at GoFundMe Luton Shelton or via National Commercial Bank Savings Account 214-233-150, Oxford Road Branch. Show your support. Be Shelton Strong. We are Shelton Strong.
One bag of gold medal pan me now. Red Stripe alone champion boy go. Pan up pour them a singing anthem. Red Stripe, watch out, watch out, watch out. Man, shall I better forward boy. Red Stripe Premier League champion boy score. Every goal winner run from boy. Red Stripe Premier League champion boy now. Pop down we run the marathon boy. The Red Stripe Premier League champion boy. Yeah, yo.
Does feel a little cooler than the 29 degrees Celsius that we're told is the temperature at the moment here at Harbour View. The Harbour View Mini Stadium getting ready to see the home team taking on Mount Pleasant. Harbour View in the relegation zone at the moment, 11th in the points table, and there's Luton Shelton, who tonight belongs to. So a pre-match presentation, a tribute to the 32-year-old who has been struck down by ALS, degenerative disease that withers your muscles away, and he is now barely able to walk, hardly walks well without some assistance, and a moving presentation here tonight. The match officials, including Kevin Morrison, getting ready to lead the teams out. Fans turning out in numbers here tonight. A bigger crowd than usual at the Harbour View Mini Stadium. And they're come out here to give their support to the Luton Shelton GoFundMe project, and also to try to cheer their team on to a victory. They've had just one win in their 5 matches so far. They're sitting 11th in the table. They're up against a team that's red hot, and a team with a strong road record as well. In fact, after 5 rounds of football, Mount Pleasant are the best team on the road so far, so they'll hold no terrors here at Harbour View.
I tell you what, Nolans, I'm expecting a fast start to this game, and I'm expecting that Donovan Duque, the coach of Mount Pleasant Academy, would have warned his team to brace for a high-octane start from the home team, given the occasion and given how pumped up the team in yellow will be.
Yes, and the greeting party tonight for this fixture does include Olivia Babsy-Grange, the Minister of Sport, also the current president of the Jamaica Football Federation, Michael Ricketts. There's a national coach as well, Theodore Tappa Whitmore, and there's Devon Hodges, the 34-year-old goal-scoring veteran, leading scorer for the team at the moment with 2 goals. He scored against Portmore, he scored against Mobay, and he's the one doing the introductions as he tries to lead his team to another victory tonight.
And don't forget in the greeting party, the JOA president, Don Anderson, a man, Don Anderson, the man of Market Research Services Limited, a noted pollster and a man who has been a part of sports administration in Jamaica for decades.
Yeah, there he is, the last one in the greeting party. Now meeting the match officials. And new goalkeeper here for the Mount Pleasant team. He'll be between the sticks here. Vargas, as the Harbour View team being met here by the officials. Chris Harvey, the 36-year-old well-traveled player, did spend some time with W Connection in the Trinidad and Tobago Pro League. Also played in Antigua for the Antigua Barracudas and Grenades FC. He leads the introduction to this Harbour View roster. Just ahead of the Jamaican national anthem and the kickoff. Red Stripe Football Mondays, minutes away. Harbour View at home to Mount Pleasant FC, or Mount Pleasant FA. It's the football academy. There's their coach, Donovan Ducky. There is Vargas, the goalkeeper. The Jamaica national anthem to start things off. So moments away from the kickoff, we have to say that the odds favor a Mount Pleasant victory here tonight, George, for several reasons. One, their form is a lot better than Harbour View. Harbour View's home record has been pretty poor so far this season. They have not won a game yet at home, contrary to the story from Mount Pleasant, who have won more than once away from home. And look at the happy faces of the Mount Pleasant team. They're happy to be here and looking for a result. So it's a big night of football here. Mount Pleasant from runaway Peasant and first time in the top flight. But as we have continued to remind you, these players are experienced players. Many of these players have won championship titles with other teams before. So the roster is a roster of immense quality and experience. The two captains, Chris Harvey in the gold for Harbour View and Devon Hodges for Mount Pleasant in the blue.
We have yellow, blue.
Tyrone Robinson is the man with the whistle. Jermaine Yeesing and Lloyd Edwards, his assistants, and Kevin Morrison, the fourth official. Both teams now getting ready to pose for pictures. There's the Harbour View starting roster. Clouvey has lost his place in the starting roster as goalkeeper. So William Price is in goal for Harbour View, a 21-year-old, 6 feet 2 inches tall. Chris Harvey, Beckett Lowe, O'Dorlan Harding, who played for Sandals last year, Talbot and McGee, 2 teenagers in the roster. Anderson, Alves, Thompson, who comes over from Tivoli on the transfer, and Shamar Nairn.
Yeah, so what they'll have Harbourview is a lot of aggressive running up front, especially they'll defend from the front with Elton Thompson and Shamar Nairn. And Elton Thompson, an energizer bunny, plays like how Carlos Tevez played when he campaigned in the English Premier League, never giving defenders a minute's rest. And they will hope that he has enough in the engine, Elton Thompson, after chasing around, when he gets the ball in a scoring position, to put the chance away for Harbourview. Found goals very hard to come by so far this season.
Yes, and there's the Mount Pleasant roster, a team that is fancied quietly to probably go all the way this year because of their quality. The Brazilian Vargas is in goal. Graham, Taylor, Campbell, Benbow, McCullough, Kemar Beckford, a 12th goal man from Waterhouse last year. Kareem Manning, former St. George's College standout, former Portmore and Harbourview player as well, so he's back to his old stomping ground here at Harbourview. Kevon Isaacs, tremendous so far this season for Mount Pleasant. Rodney, a transfer from Mobay, and Devon Hodges. We've said enough about him.
Yeah, this team dripping with quality up front. Devon Hodges is an ace marksman. Kemar Beckford and Cardel Benbow are also handy in front of goal. Better than handy. Ronaldo Rodney is the metronome who look to control the tempo that Mount Pleasant play and look to provide the ammunition for the 3 forward players. Kevon Isaacs and Evan Taylor, a midfield shield in front of their 4-man defense.
And Michael Ricketts, a very happy man these days. Happy to be presiding over a football landscape in Jamaica that has just celebrated the women qualifying for the 2019 FIFA Women's World Cup in France.
Yeah, and I hear some people trying to take that success away from him when those same people would have blamed him if they had failed to capitalize. So I say, good to the man, good to the administration. Congratulations for a job well done. Let's see them move on from here.
So here's a kickoff. Tyrone Robinson with a whistle, and Harbourview trying to hustle here pretty early at the start. On the attack pretty early. They have been woeful since the start of the season. Harbourview drew their opening game against UWI 2-2, but then lost to Portmore, Waterhouse and Mobay before opening their account last week against Dunbeholden. They went on a 3-game losing streak without even scoring a goal, where there was a goal scored in their favor, but it was an own goal.
Yeah, you spoke just now about the reasons Mount Pleasant are favourites coming into this game, and I'd suggest that the real reason for me is that Mount Pleasant have goals in them, Lance, and Harbourview don't.
Yeah, that's right. There's Ricardo Bibi Gardner, a young star from the 1998 World Cup qualifying program in France. Immediately sold to Bolton Wanderers in England for £1 million back in 1998. Harbourview trying to scramble the ball away. Mount Pleasant trying to take control in the Harbourview half. Benbow. Hodges with a header, but over the top.
Yeah, that was a good cross by Benbow. The strong wind here, you said 15 kilometers per hour in the build-up as we look at Donovan Lucky, the Mount Pleasant coach. The breeze caused it to hang a little longer than he would have wanted. Hit it with the weaker left foot as well, but good enterprise from Benbow, attacking the fullback and showing that he means business early.
Yeah, Hodges doing well to get a header on there, but didn't really connect properly, posing no problems in goal for Price. For Harbourview, there's Hodges, 34 years old now, played a lot of football with a lot of other clubs, Rivoli, Tivoli, Humberland, Wadada. And there's the hard-tackling Kevin Graham.
Yeah, and you speak of players and familiarity. Evan Taylor, who's now in blue, paraded this, prowled in this midfield area for Harbourview for many games over many years, and switched clubs in the off-season, and he's been a big loss to Harbourview, Lance.
Yeah. There's Vargas in goal for Mount Pleasant. Harbourview with a free kick left side. The 19-year-old McGee will strike it. A multiple Manning Cup championship winner with Jamaica College. Oh, the flick on! Not making good contact there.
Yeah, that's
Elton Thompson.
That's an occasion when you want your forward to go for an orthodox connection. Tried the fancy flick, tried to improvise really because the ball didn't come ideally to him. Maybe he could have killed that ball stone dead and had a shot at goal, the former Tivoli man.
Yeah, the 29-year-old, formerly from Clarendon, had injury issues last year, so didn't play a lot for Tivoli. But the season before that, 2016-2017, scored 11 goals on the season bettered only by his teammate Jermaine Johnson and Shamar Nicholson from Boys Town, who had 16 and 15 respectively. Thompson, a very, very busy forward who constantly harasses his attacking players and just as often complains to the referees when he thinks he's being hard done by.
Yeah, hence my Carlos Tevez reference earlier. He will not give the defenders a minute's peace tonight.
Did have some injury issues last year that curtailed a full program. There's Benbow, a little bit too much weight on that pass to the former St. George's College standout. Also played USL Pro Football with Harrisburg City Islanders. Good turnout here on Red Stripe Football Mondays for a Luton Shelton night. Harbour in control, that's Alves. Getting the ball back to former captain Beckett. Interesting ball forward there. Just squeezing through to Odell and Harding, 21-year-old who played for Sandals last year in their unsuccessful first trip into the top flight.
Yeah, Kamara Beckford there in your shot. Has found his shooting boots immediately for his new club this season.
Beckford scored 12 goals last year for Waterhouse, beaten finalists, coached then by Donovan Ducky, who has made the switch to Mount Pleasant and brought a couple of players with him.
Yeah, a player reborn from the moment Ducky took charge at Waterhouse. So sad that Peter Lee Vast is not out there this evening, Lance, for Harbourview.
Yeah, a young player with a lot of ability, a lot of creativity, and with Harbourview already struggling so far this season for points, the last thing they want is to not have their best roster starting, and that's evident tonight here with Peter Lee Vassell not here.
Yeah, and speaking of absent players, we spoke about Evan Taylor's switch from Harbourview to Mount Pleasant. It's no accident that with him out of the side, all of a sudden the Harbourview defense has gotten far more porous than we saw it last season.
Hodges, can he get a shot off? Rodney with a strike, oh, what a save! Ha-ha! Ronaldo Rodney rifles a right-footed shot, but Price for Harbourview was equal to the task.
Breakdown in play, bad giveaway by the Harbourview defenders. This is Harvey. Got caught on the ball. Hodges works it intelligently to his right, and Rodney had all day to decide what he was going to do with it. Threw the kitchen sink at that effort, but the positioning of Price was good, and the save was effective.
Well, the shot had the pace of a bullet, but it wasn't directed far enough from the goalkeeper, who expertly punched the ball away. Harbourview clearing their lines. Mount Pleasant immediately advertising to Harbourview that they're here on business. Good exchange of passes there. Long pass inside. Hodges. McGee hustles back. Alves gets the support for him. Pretty poor clearance there. Strike on goal from Evan Taylor, who has been a Harbourview standout now for several years before his summer transfer here to Mount Pleasant.
Yeah, and as I was making the point, his absence from the Harbourview midfield suddenly has made the defense far more vulnerable than when he played in the colors of the yellow and blue last season.
Now, here is Kevon Isaacs, the former Manchester High standout. Looks as if he wants to strike this one himself. Remember the brilliant strike in Montego Bay a couple of weeks ago that Devon Hodges latched onto the rebound to score. Isaac's strike is low, but wide.
Yeah, clean strike, but a wayward strike in the end. But he looks to be the free kick expert in this Mount Pleasant team that has a few weapons from a free kick range. Isaacs looks to be head of the queue right now. No doubt, based on what he has been doing at training and replicating in matches.
Harbourview not having too much front-end action here. Mount Pleasant bossing the game so far. Alves does well to hold the ball up. Slides the pass through there to Nairn. Nairn complains, doesn't get any sympathy from referee Robinson.
I didn't see a foul in that effort. Ricardo Campbell rather, playing it intelligently, wedging his body between the player and the ball and then going down at the slightest contact.
There's former Cumberland man, Ricardo Campbell. Defense. Cumberland pretty solid so far this season and has been really, really impressive in their first year of Red Stripe Premier League football. Beckford turns well, but robbed off the ball pretty neatly by Harding. Campbell, full of experience and composure. Alves has seen a lot of the ball so far in this match for Harbourview.
Yeah. Looks to have the bulk of the creative responsibility alongside Tariq McGee in this Harbourview midfield.
Great pass forward here. Benbow goes to challenge. Hustled off the ball and Price in goal for Harbourview. Make sure his coach Garner doesn't have any anxious moments on that play.
But a real high-octane start to this game, Lance. The Mount Pleasant attackers look really, really sharp tonight.
Mount Pleasant, Hodges, Isaacs. Goes wide there. Manning's cross inside. Chance here for Mount Pleasant. Beckford is hustled off the ball. About 3 Harbourview players converge on him. And here comes Evan Taylor. Mount Pleasant player down hurt in the box. Is it Benbow?
No, that's number 90. Yes, it is Cardel Benbow.
Yeah, Benbow is in a lot of pain. A lot of pain. He did suffer a hamstring injury last year that made him miss some of the playoff matches.
Well, that looks like a knee to the front of the thigh. In this crowd of players, he tried to work himself through. And yeah, went down under a challenge, was crowded out.
Yeah. Well, the Harbourview players know how dangerous he is, George, so they cannot allow him any space. 3 of them converging on the 23-year-old.
Yeah, but that was ordinary defending again from a player of the caliber of Agina Talbot. The cross swung in, fell almost onto his lap. And maybe that's the problem. Didn't fall somewhere where he was comfortable clearing first time and gave Benbow a whiff of a chance.
Yeah, I think there was a connection there between Beckett and Benbow's knee, just the side of the knee. Pretty painful. He goes down, grimaces in pain here. There's Luton Shelton, ball-headed leading goal scorer for Jamaica all time, 35 goals. Played English Premier League football as well for Sheffield United. Interestingly, George, I think he made his Premier League debut against Manchester United.
Yes, he did. I watched that game.
Only spent 1 season that year in the top flight Sheffield United. Here's Mount Pleasant on the attack, the header out. Campbell comes under pressure. Ball stolen from him. It's Thompson's pass inside, not a very good pass. And Hodges goes down with an injury. I think that's Talbot made the connection there on the 34-year-old.
Yeah. May have been an elbow that caught Hodges in the ribs.
Yeah, the 19-year-old showing little respect there for the...
That's painful.
Veteran.
Well, you saw just now Ricardo Campbell on the ball, the Mount Pleasant centre half, and Elton Thompson closing him down and robbing him. It's a pity the pass wasn't good enough from a Harbourview perspective, but they would have been in business.
Evan Taylor goes to the penalty spot. Oh, the header. Defensive header. But going behind for a corner that was.
Lance, this Harbourview defence, I don't think there's much confidence in it. Almost every time the ball is played forward into the box, it's almost with a bit of panic that the defender approaches the clearance.
Yeah.
And they've not been convincing so far in this game, this Harbourview defense.
Yeah, Andre Lowe getting the header there, but the header going behind for a corner. And Evan Taylor, who spent so much time here, understands fully the culture of Harbourview. Maybe strategically with Coach Donovan Ducky, may be able to zero in on some of the loose ends here that Harbourview has in their armory. Of course, Evan Taylor did play as well for Reno earlier in his career. Oh, the header down. There goes Rodney to fetch towards the corner flag. Talbot gets the ball away. Thompson, one innocuous pass back here. Beckford trying to turn his man. Whistle from referee Robinson. Free kick to Mount Pleasant, and Harbourview's defense working overtime after 13 minutes.
Yeah, everybody working hard in defense, especially that man leading from the front with his defensive work. It has to be a collective effort. When confidence is low in your defensive third, then the whole team has to pull together.
Well, defensively, they have a man that knows about defending. Ricardo Bibi Gardner played World Cup football as a defender and English Premier League football as a defender. Kevon Isaacs, copybook of the free kick he had before, low and hard, but I think it was going wide of the right upright. Taylor, trademark long diagonal passes. It's one of the strongest points of his game, Evan Taylor. Brilliant first touch by Beckford, but ball stolen from him. Hodges does well with the first touch. Play well read there. Harbourview, as soon as they get the ball forward, find themselves defending again in short order.
Yeah, Thompson going down with an injury, took a shot to the face with a stray hand from one of the Mount Pleasant players.
Yeah, Thompson, very, very impressive 2 seasons ago in attack with Tivoli Gardens, along with Jermaine Teddy Johnson. Between them, accounted for 27 goals in the Premier League. He had 11, Johnson had 16. Harvey, low, toward the box. Beautiful first touch by the veteran. But Vargas in goal for Mount Pleasant has no problems.
Yeah, the Harbourview defense just needs a moment to catch their collective breath, Lance. Real high octane aggressive start from the visitors, and you would have thought it was the home team would have come out foot firmly on the gas pedal.
McCann doesn't like the forward passing option, so he goes back with the ball. Hodges turns his man well. Beckford, good skill from Beckford. 3 Harbourview men hustle him off the ball, but the pressure's still on Harbourview. Rodney does well to keep the ball in. His cross is low. Oh, there was a kick there to the midriff of Kareem Manning. And he has gone down. I think he has won a free kick as well.
Yeah, in a dangerous position once again. They've enjoyed some success down this left-hand side of the Mount Pleasant attack. The boys in blue. Kareem Manning has been down here. Benbow. Ronaldo Rodney as well.
Yeah. Talbot there, the Jamaica College Manning Cup winner, kicking Manning in the abdomen. And Manning is in pain. Manning, of course, played for Harbourview here for a season or 2. And was also a Portmore United man as well. Now with Mount Pleasant.
Yeah, Luton Shelton, big smile there on his face. The man who scored so many goals on this patch for the team in yellow. Just in the midfield for Harbourview, Lance, Nicholas Beckett. The game has been the game has passed him by for these 18 minutes. He hasn't had a kick really. So here's how you contribute to the Luton Shelton GoFundMe account. 214-233-150. Jamaican dollars to this NCB Jamaican savings account, Oxford Road branch.
Back to the action. Free kick to Mount Pleasant. Taylor going for the near post. Blocked by the wall. McGee does well to win possession in midfield. Wants a lot of the ball, McGee, despite his tender years of 19. Does play this football as if he has a lot of experience and confidence. Wants to feel the ball on his boots a lot and has no fear for his older rivals.
Well, as they always tell you, Lance, in every country at every level, the best players always look to have all day to play the ball, and McGee just seems to have a lot of time when he's in possession. That's the mark of a good player all the time.
Did benefit one of those Digicel kickstart Manchester City trips a couple of years ago. Oh, Beckett gives the ball away. Isaacs, that's Kevon Isaacs. Harbourview losing the ball in midfield.
Can't work so hard for it and give it away so cheaply, and the men in yellow have been guilty of that. And really unforced errors. It's not as if the ball carrier is under pressure, but they just turn the ball over easily.
Beckett goes long and wide. Anderson for Harbourview. Throw to Harbourview taken quickly. Referee says it's actually a free kick, because I think Benbow grabbed onto Anderson there.
Yes, he did. Very animated, Ricardo Gardner, since the start of the game.
And he would be the Harbourview team at the moment 11th in the points table, which means they're in the relegation zone. And look at the class and skill and ease of McGee. Anderson. Campbell with a clearance out for Mount Pleasant. Lazy play there from Evan Taylor. Good work by Harbourview, tackling in numbers, winning possession. But they're having trouble keeping possession of the ball, Harbourview. They've been at times doing good midfield work to win possession of the ball, but they don't protect the ball well after that. Bustling going on here for the ball. Oh, to the near post, the strike. Bad effort there from Nairn, was it?
No, it was Alves.
Alves, the number 20. Nairn was there in the play, but the shot actually came from Alves.
Yeah, followed up the play very well because he played the pass originally. Nairn was having trouble beating Ricardo Campbell. Alves went to exert pressure. This is a good low shot. Very nice save.
Yeah. Almost squeezing through on the near post. Vargas does well there in the end.
Wow, that was rough from Talbot. A hand in the face of Devon Hodges. Harvey doesn't like the call. But Chris, if you saw that replay, you'd agree with the referee. That was a foul.
Yeah, and I think Talbot is paying a lot of attention here to Hodges tonight.
Yeah, not wanting him to turn.
Yeah. 15 years his senior, Hodges, on the 19-year-old Talbot. And Talbot wants to make the night uncomfortable for Hodges, who has already struck twice for Mount Pleasant this season. Evan Taylor with a free kick. McCullough for Mount Pleasant.
Thompson again not giving up on the chase, even though he was not the favorite for that ball, and McCullough wants the referee to take action. The referee is reminding him that I'm reffing the game, you're playing it, so you do what you have to do and leave me to my job.
Thompson, a really fierce competitor, isn't he? And you can understand last year, because of his niggling injury that he had for most of the season, why he wouldn't have played a lot of games for Tivoli last year, because with him not being 100% fit, it takes away a lot of his game. Benbow. Manning. Benbow. Beckett, cool and calm, deflects the ball.
Yeah, crowd favorite Cardel Benbow, and there is a large contingent of Mount Pleasant supporters here.
There's no player on this Mount Pleasant starting roster that played in the game in July that saw them qualify for the Red Stripe Premier League. The entire roster has been stripped and beefed up with experienced Red Stripe Premier League hardened players.
And champions. Don't forget that past champions are in the squad. That's an important point to stress. So it's a new team in terms of name only.
Including this man, Ronaldo Rodney.
Yep.
Twice champions in the past 6 years for Montego Bay United. Beckett with a header out. Oh, the shot driven directly on goal. Wide of the target there from Evan Taylor.
For him, that's disappointing. For a man of his class. Has that in his locker, Evan Taylor. Just snatched at it a little bit and dragged it wide.
Yeah. One of the things about this game that we've seen so far, George, after 24.5 minutes, is the sort of energy and work that this Harbourview defense line has been doing tells you about the early dominance of Mount Pleasant.
Oh yes, the most fatigued unit on the field. Oh,
Isaacs. Oh, slides the ball forward. Benbow tries to get there. Price is there first.
that was poor play from McGee, Lance. He was doodling with that ball, was robbed, and it almost cost his team dear.
Harbourview on the counter-attack. Vargas just pulled back slightly by Thompson. McCullough for Mount Pleasant. McCullough, former Portmore player. And one of the experienced men. Pretty hasty effort there from Isaacs. Thought he had time to set the ball down and get a cleaner shot on goal. There wasn't anyone challenging, but he went for the one-time effort and muffed it.
Yeah, but what a poor header from Richard Anderson. That's the kind of header you normally feather back to your goalkeeper. But he headed it into the path of the oncoming Mount Pleasant player, Isaacs. That's what I mean by the panicky nature of this Harbourview defense. Chris Harvey just needs to transmit all of his experience to his colleagues. Here's Beckett having a go at his young defenders, recognizing that the effort isn't at optimum.
Yeah, they're not playing with confidence, George. They're playing like a team that, as their record says, lost 3, drawn 1, and only had 1 win in their 5 matches. Thompson tries to break free for Harbourview. Knocked over. Free kick to Harbourview just outside the box.
Yeah, knew the contact was coming, Elton Thompson. I'm telling you that. But brave he is, and went into the challenge. And Ricardo Campbell, this is the clash. A clash of, well, maybe Thompson's shoulder, yes, into Campbell's chest. And Thompson holding his chest. I'm not sure he got hit in the chest, but he's gonna milk it. Look at him, ensuring that the referee sees that he's hurt and in pain.
Yeah, diminutive player, not that much taller than about 5'4" or so, but plays with a lot of heart and tremendous energy and determination. There's Newton Sterling, who's now with Tivoli after spending years at Arnett Gardens, former national striker as well.
Now this is a good opportunity. We did a game at Harbourview recently, Lance, where McGee wasn't being allowed to take charge of the free kicks. Beckett was the one who was pulling rank and taking the free kicks, and none of them went on target, and Beckett again pulls rank as we confirm that Ricardo Campbell was booked for that challenge on Elton Thompson.
Yeah.
But to be fair to Beckett though, this is an angle for a right footer, Lance.
Yeah. And Beckett looks as if he wants to strike it. Beckett goes for goal. Brilliant strike. Oh, what a save by Vargas. What a tremendous save. That was heading goalward for sure. And Vargas picked kicked it out of the air brilliantly.
Tremendous from Nicholas Beckett. No more than 2 steps, striding up to the ball and really just bent it. It dipped over the wall beneath the crossbar that was heading in before Vargas's intervention, flying to his right to claw that away.
Here's Vargas again brought into action, and
he's complaining about Elton Thompson, and saying that the striker is overly aggressive. But that's exactly what Thompson wants to do. Wants to get under the skin of the goalkeeper, wants to get under the skin of the Mount Pleasant defenders. He's doing his job.
So a good moment here now for Harbourview, who have spent most of the first half an hour of this game trying to fend off a rampant looking Mount Pleasant Academy team. As they are now. Rodney, Beckford, McCallum. Beckford under pressure.
Hasn't seen much of the ball, Kimara Bushy Beckford. Most of the attacking has been done on the left-hand side of the Mount Pleasant attack. He's stationed on the right. So really has been a spectacular. Must work himself into the game.
Harbourview. Mount Pleasant with more time on the ball so far in this match, 52%. Harbourview also battling a pretty unimpressive home record so far this season. They've not picked up a point at home just yet. All 4 points they have at the moment have come from away fixtures. A trip there by Alves. Free kick to Mount Pleasant. And last year their away record wasn't that good either, this Harbourview team. Actually had more wins, 8 on the road compared to 6 at home last year, and gathered more points on the road, 25, than they did at home, 24. So last season they weren't strong at home, and they haven't started well at home this year either.
Yeah, homesickness a problem now for 2 seasons running, especially where goal scoring is concerned.
Great play here by Peasant. Near and they're trying to set the ball inside. Thompson trying to get there but lost his balance briefly. Vargas authoritative in goal for Mount Pleasant so far.
Stumble at the critical moment for Elton Thompson, because that was a good ball sprayed in his direction. Oh, and gazing again. Harbourview just all over the shot defensively, and he's ballistic. Ricardo Gardner.
He would be, George, and because he's a defender by trade, he would probably have a little less tolerance for defensive errors on the field.
Absolutely so.
In the final 15 minutes now of this first half.
Manning aggrieved.
Yeah. Nearing with the overzealous challenge. Taylor with a free kick for Mount Pleasant. There are 5 Mount Pleasant players spread across the 18-yard area. The edge of the box. Make it 6 with the arrival of Isaacs. Great cross inside. Oh, the header behind by Beckett, I think it was, gives up a corner. But that was a swirling, searing, curling kick by this man, Evan Taylor. Very, very strong with those set plays. And it's his former Harbourview teammate, because he played with them for the past 4 years, that got the header out. Corner to Mount Pleasant. Blue shirts for Mount Pleasant filling the box up. Thompson. Oh, he's lost it. Rodney. Beckford! Oh, the crossbar gets in the way! Benbow! Crossbar gets in the way again! Oh my goodness! Oh, the block by Andre Lowe almost turns it into to his own goal, but wide for a corner. What a moment! What a moment for Harbourview. Their crossbar shaken twice in the space of 5 seconds, but they survive.
And that's because of a poor piece of play by Elton Thompson, winning the ball, then turning it over to Ronaldo Rodney. Kemar Beckford, it bounces sweetly for him, strikes it ferociously off the crossbar, and then Cardel Benbow gave it the treatment. The crossbar again. Must be injured right now. And then turned away. This is Rodney. Beckford's shot. Cannons off the crossbar. Bounces. Hodges keeps it alive. And Benbow crashes off the crossbar again. And then Beckford's shot blocked and turned away behind for a corner. Harbourview at 6s and 7s. But look at this front effort. Tremendous. And you thought that was special. Then Hodges set it on a tail for Benbow to crash one off the crossbar again. Harbourview dodging 2 tracer bullets, and the Mount Pleasant owner, Peter Gold, can't believe that his team are not in front.
Well, George, I can't either. I've been commentating football for about 34 years, and I don't think I've ever seen the crossbar struck in the space of 5 seconds in the way I just did.
I'm sure you have, but you've forgotten.
Twice in 5 seconds, George.
I'm just kidding,
I can't remember. Thompson is hurt.
Lance, I'm suggesting it's his pride, because that play started. He ran back brilliantly, won the ball very well, then took forever to make a forward pass, and then he passed the ball across the field just outside his 18-yard box. That's criminal.
Well, here's Mount Pleasant still keeping the pressure on. And the header is high from Hodges. What a game here tonight. So there's Hodges going high for the header, but over the top. Looking for his 3rd goal so far this season.
I can't believe a player as experienced as Elton Thompson will win the ball deep in his half and then pass the ball across the field. That's wow. And that's what put Harbourview in trouble just now.
Yeah, I think he's a little bit flustered, Elton Thompson. McGee. Wow, risky play there by McGee. Oh, he intercepts well in midfield. Wow, McGee. Misplaced pass, McCann gets the header out. Beckford under pressure. Protects the ball well. That's actually Benbow.
They've switched flanks.
Yeah, they've gone over. Benbow's gone over to the right. Nairn. Alves. Just leaving the throw there. Beckett loses possession of the ball. Hodges looking for support on the front end. Beckford puts the chase on. Anderson gets there before him. Wow, Price opts to go right side. It did appear that going left side may have been the safer bet. Harbourview's distribution not as good as it needs to be. They keep winning the ball and then giving it away. So their efforts to get the ball out of their defensive third quite often, George, being spoilt by poor distribution.
And that's what we've been talking about all half. And they are unforced errors. Most of the times the ball is given away, the ball carrier is not under pressure. They just give the ball away.
McCann forward. Benbow.
Yeah, McCullough had to check his run because Benbow took too long to give him. He would have been offside anyway.
Well, this man is now frustrated.
Oh, yes.
He's seen enough. Ricardo Bibi Garner, the Harbourview coach, must be wondering why his players are not showing the level of composure to just keep the ball, not give it away so easily. Alves turns brilliantly there on McCullough. McCullough is a very determined player and chases him to the corner flag. Good work here by Alves. And now Graham, no nonsense, bangs the ball away. Hodges calls for a foul. No sympathy from referee Robinson. Manning with a header out, but only as far as to Anderson. Harvey. Beckett. Alves goes wide. Anderson. Manning puts pressure on, blocks the intended cross.
Like how Mark Alves has been prompting for Harbourview, the number 20.
There's Manning. Alves. Beckford looks to be fouled by Alves.
Yeah.
Now the whistle comes. An energetic first half here, George. 6 minutes remaining in the half.
All right, look at what, when we get the chance to look at the 2 shots off the crossbar, you'll see what Elton Thompson did. Well, so before that, the point I want to highlight about how criminal passing of the ball by Harbourview almost gifted the Mount Peasant team the goal twice.
Alves under a bit of discomfort. 5 minutes to the halftime break. And no goals yet in the fixture, as Donovan Ducky, coach of Mount Pleasant, has a word there on the side with Kareem Manning. Beckford with a kick out to Taylor. Goes wide to McCullough. McCullough's pass intercepted, or partially intercepted. Throw to Harbourview.
We've had a good half of football though.
Yeah,
we must say.
Nairn turns well, but can't get rid of McCullough. Now they do, using teamwork, and Harbourview are on the counter-attack. Thompson goes sprinting towards the penalty spot. Somehow, Nairn can't get the cross in.
Excellent defensive play by Kevin Graham though, because he delayed Nairn for so long. Well, that was actually Orderland Harding.
Yeah.
But he wanted to swing that cross in left foot, and Kevin Graham wouldn't have given him any room.
Yeah, legs taken away there in the end. Free kick to Harbourview in a threatening position, and look at the number of yellow shirts in the box for Harbourview, looking for a late first half strike. And some strong headers are in there as well. Whistle. A bit low, guilty of some pushing in the box. Ricardo Campbell wants his teammates to listen to him as he speaks. So on a night when it's a GoFundMe project for Luton Shelton, former Harbourview and national standout, the fans turning out in their numbers. The entry fee to the stadium tonight doubled, usually $500 Jamaican, which is just a little more than, or just a little less than $4 US. They're now being asked to pay $1,000 to come into the stadium tonight, so almost US $8 to pay as part of the support for Luton Shelton. McGee. Thompson loses possession of the ball. Fights hard.
Wow, he's been one of their best defenders, Lance, and he's a striker.
Oh, look at him challenge for the ball. He really does give 150%, doesn't he? Hodges. Wow, Anderson with a spectacular attempted clearance. Only gives up a corner though.
Yeah, you should have seen Ricardo Garda's face, because again, the unconventional being tried there when something orthodox would have probably sent the ball in the direction he wanted to send it in.
Well, this man, William Price, former Constant Spring goalkeeper, has been busy so far tonight. There's been some frantic moments in the defensive third for Harbourview tonight, but credit to them, it's 0-0 at the moment. Isaacs goes for the strike. Poor effort from the former Manchester High player.
Yeah, had so much time. Really going for power there and then wanting to curl it at the end of it all. And then wanting to do too much from that distance.
Yeah, a really good striker of the ball, so he would have been disappointed with that effort.
Look at the number of goal attempts for Mount Pleasant, Lance. 9.
Yeah, compared to 2 to Harbourview. 2 of those 9 hitting onto the crossbar. Taylor tries to slide the ball through the play. Really well read though by Chris Harvey. He has to hustle the ball away for a throw to Mount Pleasant. So Mount Pleasant may be disappointed that they haven't been able to score, having shown offensively so much in the game so far. Poor effort that goes well wide.
Yeah, had more time, Kimara Beckford. Or maybe he just wanted to catch the goalkeeper by surprise. But here we have a mini conference going on among the Harbourview defenders. Nicholas Beckett, Mark Alves, and Eugenie Talbot just in a mid-pitch conference, because they're just not getting defensively the kind of results that they want.
Yeah, there's Reniki Anderson, Arnett Garn's defender, sitting close to his former teammate Newton Sterling, who had been a summer transfer from Arnett to Tivoli. Taylor gives up the ball easily. Anderson gives up the ball just as easily. Taylor for Mount Pleasant. Campbell. Manning. Benbow. Wants a foul, the referee doesn't agree. Isaacs steps on the ball and falls. McGee breaks away for Harbourview. Beckett. McGee. Oh, great play by McGee. There goes Alves with a pretty poor effort.
Yeah, that's what you call continuity, and he's getting told off by the younger man Tariq McGee. Had 3 options up front. Belatedly, they applaud the effort Elton Thompson and Niran do. That was a bad decision by Mark Alves in that part of the pitch to shoot from there.
Yeah, Harbourview struggling here this first half. They've been pretty much run off their legs by a Mount Pleasant team that has looked a lot more organised. Harbourview looking hasty and hurried in their play and making a lot of errors.
And it's luck, Lance. Luck is the reason the game is 0-0. Luck for Harbourview, that is.
Campbell with a clearance, left-footed. He thought he was shoved. Alves gets a telling off from referee Robinson. So a minute added on for stoppages here at the end of the first half, and we've exceeded that minute now, so we do expect that referee Robinson's whistle to signal the end of the first half will come any time now.
Yeah, this first half has flown by.
It's been a good night of football, a night of emotion, a spiritual night pre-game with a tribute to Luton Shelton as he fights the ALS disease. There's the halftime whistle, as we suspected. Referee Tyrone Robinson. So a halftime here that has brought an end to 45 minutes of intense, high-quality football. or action-packed football, we have to say. A lot of goalmouth action, and Harbour View fighting hard to stay alive.
Yeah, sharp saves from both goalkeeper, from the free kick from the man Joseph Vargas in the Mount Pleasant goal, and then William Price keeping out a pile driver, and then watching helplessly as two pile drivers came back off his crossbar.
Yeah, that's the kind of night we've seen so far at half-time. 0-0 between Mount Pleasant visiting the Harbour View Mini Stadium in Red Stripe Football Mondays. Back with the highlights and our half-time feature after this.
One bag of gold medal pan me now. Red stripe alone champion boy go. Pan up pour them a singing anthem. Red stripe, watcha. Man shall I better forward boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy score. Every goal winner run from boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy now. Back down we run him marathon boy. The Red stripe Premier League champion boy. Yeah yo. One bag of gold medal pan me now. Red stripe alone champion boy go. Pan up pour them a singing anthem. Red stripe, watcha. Man shall I better forward boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy score. Every goal winner run from boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy now. Back down we run him marathon boy. The Red stripe Premier League champion boy. Yeah yo.
Just ahead of the second half, Mount Pleasant against the Harbour View team here, Red Stripe Football Mondays. Huge emotional night here for Luton Shelton, suffering from ALS, this degenerative motor neuron disease that is taking his life away from him. Lots of contributions coming in. The Jamaican government giving 5 million Jamaican dollars, that's approximately US 37,000 to the Luton Shelton Fund, coming through the Sports Development Foundation. And he has warmly received it, Barita. 100,000 Jamaican dollars to the GoFundMe Luton Shelton program. Harbour View Waterhouse also making contributions, along with Craig Butler from the Phoenix Club giving 15,000 euros to the Luton Shelton GoFundMe project.
Yeah, and he said that that transfer was actually made today. So his money is already in the bank, Craig Butler's money from Phoenix Academy. Yeah, so the song strains in the background. The hit song from Wayne Marshall, a Woolmerian, just like Luton Shelton.
That's
Glory
right.
to God. One of these smash hits for 2018. And Wayne singing lustily to bring praises on to his brother, Luton Shelton.
Yeah, and you know, George, the organizers did tell us that they didn't think that Luton would be able to stay the entire night because he's weak and it's difficult for him to be out. But clearly, he's been here now beyond half-time, and he looks as if he's not about to leave.
Yeah, the crowd has been holding him up, and his family with him. I think he's going to stay for the entire night, because this is the kind of thing that someone in his position wants to feel the love of people, and a player who everybody liked as a nice guy in his playing career. Very, very heartening to see them come out in such numbers to support him in his difficult time.
Yeah, and tough for the Harbour View Football Club, because one of their stalwarts, Barrington Cobra Gaynor, also died of ALS about 7 years ago. Yeah, after suffering in pretty much the same way that we're seeing Luton Shelton suffer now.
For the little that we know about ALS, we know two things: that it's sporadic and it's hereditary. And it seems amazing that for one small football club in the world context to have two former players struck down by such a disease, that's I can't find the words to describe what that must mean.
Yeah, as we get ready for the start of the second half, and the fact is there's Ricardo Gardner just giving a pep talk there to Tyreek McGee, the 19-year-old skillful midfielder for Harbour View. we have to make the point to George that with the ALS disease, your mind still functions well. So his mind is working. He's fully aware. He is fully conscious of what is happening around him. It's just as his muscles are weakening, and his ability to move and his mobility is being affected, and his body is withering away.
Yes.
He was reported to have suggested that he's really disappointed that his voice has gone away so early, because he would really like to be able to speak more and communicate with people. Wow, Benbow had a lot of class and quality about it, but high with the effort.
Yeah, really fantastic stuff from Benbow, a showman who gets rid of Richard Anderson and then goes for the big volley. Did it all for the cameras and for the spectators here who loved every minute of it.
Only 5 feet 4 inches tall, Benbow, but a player with immense quality. He's part of the Manning Cup winning team for St. George's College while he was at school 6 years ago.
Remember, we saw him when he just came from the USL and into the Waterhouse team, and he struggled to adapt. But adaptation is over, Lance. He's flying now.
Yeah, he's now found his bearings in the RSPL. Hodges challenged again by Talbot, who is really making the night miserable here tonight for Devon Hodges.
That was an excellent tackle from Hodges. Tried to hide the ball from the defender who read his intention.
Hodges sets the ball back. Oh, the effort from Isaacs is high, so he's not finding his shooting boots here tonight, this former Manchester High player.
Yeah, another wild swing from Isaacs. Looking, plotting his next change rather early. That's supposed to be Kesslon Hall, and this man had some problems in the first half, frustrated with the quality of his team's defending and the regularity with which they gave away the ball. Must have had some strong words with them at halftime, especially to his senior players, asking them to lead from the front.
So early in the second half here. Campbell with a free kick for Mount Pleasant. Taylor just getting back to his feet after being fouled. Manning. Benbow. Benbow. Still Benbow. Hodges. Oh, Isaacs gets in there, but the clearance made just in time.
Wow, Orderland Harding with the most vital intervention, because Cardel Benbow had shown Richard Anderson a clean pair of heels. The ball was bobbling all around, but he still managed to cut the corner and play the pass in, and just when Hodges was there to fire that one home, Orderland Harding, Lance, came from nowhere. With this tackle, it was Isaacs who was running onto it, and Harding robbed him of the chance.
Great work there by young Harding, the 21-year-old, former Grange Hill and Petersfield player. He played for Sandals last year in their unsuccessful first try in the top flight. Late challenge there on Harding.
Yeah, and I think this Kevon Isaacs has not been a dirty player in this game, but it's just an accumulation of hard fouls from both sides. The referee saying that, look, I'm tired of it now. Look at this. Yeah, that's a booking. That's a booking.
Harding takes it in the face.
And in the thigh.
So a free kick to Harbourview, who are battling hard. Isaacs. This is the second yellow card issued for the match so far. Harding. Whistle. Referee Robinson wants the playback.
Yeah, 2 Mount Pleasant men in the book. Ricardo Campbell, the other man, with a yellow to his name.
The veteran, 36-year-old Christopher Harvey. The free kick for Harbourview floats it right inside. Harbourview's goal scoring drought continuing here into this new season. Last year they were the best defensive team, giving up just 22 goals, but of all the teams that made the playoffs, they were the worst offensive teams.
Yeah.
Even teams that got relegated got almost as many goals as they did.
Yeah, they were shot shy over the course of the season. And Lance, one of the things I've noticed since the second half, the Mount Pleasant players working, chipping away at the referee, believing that they're not getting enough calls and they want to see some Harbourview players in the book. Ricardo Campbell making that point strenuously to the referee just now.
Problems here for Harbourview. Hodges tries to break free, sets the ball across. Here's Benbow! Second goal of the season for the 23-year-old. Mount Pleasant belatedly taking the lead 5 minutes into the second half.
That was careless defending again, because the replay will show you, Lance, the Harbourview defenders, first of all, that ball, the first ball, shouldn't have been allowed to bounce. Then the Harbourview defenders were looking across to their right at the assistant referee, wanting him to raise the flag for offside. This is the ball by Beckford. That ball should have been allowed to bounce once. Okay. Hodges plays it to Benbow, who the angle says is not offside. Look at them looking when they should be closing him down. That's criminal defending. Harbourview got what they deserve, which is to go behind 1-0.
And Benbow, who was excited so far on the night, strikes left-footed and gives Mount Pleasant the 1-0 advantage. There he is.
4 against 1. And the 4 defenders are half-heartedly running towards Benbow while begging the assistant referee to bail them out. That's poor defending.
So Mount Pleasant on fire. Benbow with a long ball forward. Gets Beckford in, but he doesn't have support on the front end. Has to wait to hold the play up. Oh, he decides to go into the box. Low gets a deflection behind for a corner.
Yeah, wanted the handball call. Sympathize with the goalkeeper, William Price, because his defenders let him down badly there.
So problems continuing here for Harbourview and Mount Pleasant. Now on the live scoring table are joint leaders with Portmore on points on 13. Taylor, good cross to the far post. Hodges, oh, it's in again. 2-0. Mount Pleasant all over Harbourview at the compound.
Intelligently worked goal from Mount Pleasant. The ace marksman, the most dangerous man in the 18-yard box of either of the two teams. Devon Hodges left alone towards the right-hand side of the box. This is Van Taylor's cross, missed by 2 Harbourview defenders, including Talbot, who may have used his arm to knock the ball into the path of Hodges. Takes one swing at it, the marksman does, and buries it.
3 goals now on the season for the 34-year-old, and Harbourview are now in real problems at home. Devon Hodges strikes again. Had goals against Portmore and Montego Bay United, and now against Harbourview. So in a flash, this match has been transformed for a neck-and-neck battle to Harbourview facing defeat. An opportunity now though, McGee. Anderson's cross, or Harding's cross, has too much weight on it. And Elton Thompson is furious. He thought Harding should have just lobbed the ball inside for him to have a crack at goal.
Not lobbed, Lance. He wanted that fired across the 6-yard box, because that's what you do from that position. Harding went for the chip, looking for someone at the far post. There was nobody at the far post, but there were 3 men running towards the 6-yard box who would have had a shout to get something on it if it was fired low across the 6-yard box.
Vargas brought up a tremendous save in the first half from a Nicholas Beckett free kick. Bangs the ball out. And Mount Pleasant supporters are now in high gear.
And don't forget that low shot that he kept out from Mark Alves, Lance, at his near post.
Yes. Harvey. You've been, though they finished up the season pretty strong last year, George, they won 8 of their last 10 regular season matches to assure themselves of a playoff spot. But overall, their season left a lot to be desired. Their goal scoring problems almost never ending.
Yeah,
their leading goal scorers last year, George, a combination of about 6 players, had 3 goals.
Yeah.
Their top goal scorers in 2017-2018 had 3 goals, and included among them Ryan Wellington, the defender, who has gone back to Portmore.
Yeah. That just sums up what's been wrong with this Harbourview team over the past season and a bit. And you say they were ordinary. In a vacuum they were, and by Harbourview standards, this is not Harbourview. Harbourview is always a team that has some of the best finishers in the league.
Yeah, traditionally, among them Luton Shelton.
Yep.
But there have been others. Fabian Taylor, who scored in the celebrity match earlier on tonight.
Brian Brown.
For a brief period, Kevon Freighter, the outstanding Jamaica college man who went to the USL a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah, Nicholas McCreed. Yeah. They call him Helmet. A player who knew where the goal was. And it's just so unusual to see Harbourview struggling to find the back of the net.
So their leading scorers last year were all tied on 3 goals. The season before that, René Kimura was their leading scorer with just 5 goals. In the 2015-16 season, John Ross Edwards and Jorginho James are their leading scorers, along with Kevon Freighter, each with 7 goals. So not a bad scoring show there for Harbourview in the 2015-2016 season. But subsequent to that, they've really had problems producing players to get goals for this man.
Yep, a contrast of emotions. Dookie doesn't look like it on the outside, but must be more relaxed now that his team's supremacy is reflected on the scoreboard. Gardner has problems, a leaky defense, and a forward line that, although Elton Thompson and Nearn have worked hard, especially Thompson Lance, they haven't really looked a threat in the run of play to the Mount Pleasant defense.
Yeah, they really need a player like Thompson, who on his best day for Tivoli was a pretty prolific goal scorer while he was there. Oh, some tempers flaring now.
Yep, the officials running onto the pitch to sort this thing out. It was Nairn who was accused of flattening one of the Mount Pleasant players. Looks to be number 30, Kareem Manning, who claims to have been struck in the face.
Yes.
And the replay will tell the truth. Gardner, for all of that, wondering how he can coax a response from his team. A yellow card is out, so this is what happened. This is Manning, and yeah, he struck him off the ball. That's a red card, Lance. Nairn slapped Manning in the face. I won't say punch. And referee, I'm sure if he saw the replay, it would not be a yellow card.
Yeah. In the meantime, some effort in the Mount Pleasant camp there to keep their players' tempers tempered. There's Nairn.
And the thing is, he did it right in front of a group of Mount Pleasant supporters who are on that far side, in that packed far side stand, who saw what he did.
Yeah.
It looks to have been cut.
Yeah.
So it looks as if it was a punch into Kareem Manning's mouth by Nairn, who gets away with a yellow card.
Yeah, so On the hour mark, it's Mount Pleasant with strikes from Cardel, Benbow and Devon, Hodges in front. 2-0. Alves, Beckett, McGee.
Lance, we're talking about a new dispensation in Jamaican football where how good must it be for a player like Cardel, Benbow and Tyreek McGee to know that if they play well, they will be up for national selection.
Yeah. Oh, Beckford shows good skill initially, but doesn't complete the play. Yeah, the years of international assignments coming up and the team outfitted with 95% overseas-based players. The JFF now looking to depart from those days.
Yep, those days they say are gone, and based on the early evidence, that's what's been happening. And so the extra motivation for someone like Cardel, Benbow, knowing that the national coach is here to really take it to the Harbourview defenders as Johan Weatherly prepares to come on for Harbourview.
Yeah, Weatherly, a transfer from Montego Bay United in the summer. Former Monroe student, about to get some playing time for Harbourview in difficult times for the team in gold. Harvey taking over captaincy, wearing the armband instead of Nicholas Beckett, who had been captain the past couple of seasons. Manning puts a strong challenge on. Now Weatherly about to get some playing time. So he gets in for Elton Thompson. So Thompson has an unsuccessful night for Harbourview. And Weatherly, a player similar in stature, similar to height, maybe just a little thicker in body, Weatherly over Beckford. Bangs the ball high and hard. Throw to Harbourview. So Mount Pleasant will want to manage the game now to protect their advantage. It's an away fixture for them, so they'll be more than happy here collecting 3 points from this outing.
Yeah, it's a good point you raise, because I've just been wondering what Dookie will do from here. Will he stick or twist? Will he chase more goals, or will he hold what he has? He's a pragmatic coach, Lance, so I think it's the latter. He just wants to see it out from here.
Yeah, less than half an hour remaining. And to be quite honest, apart from some very fleeting moments, Harbourview isn't at the moment showing the kind of quality or organization to threaten them that much. Harbourview's first corner of the match. 6 corners won by Mount Pleasant in the first half. Good corner this is, though. Wow, 3 Harbourview players going up for headers and missing, including Nairn and
Low and Harvey.
And Harvey, yeah.
Tremendous delivery. Nairn, Low and Harvey all went up for it.
Wow, but that was a very threatening looking corner. Some Mount Pleasant fans, oh, they're all the way from St. Anne, which is more than an hour's drive away.
Not so far anymore with the highway, Lance.
Yeah. Beckett under pressure.
Oh, he's been a disappointment in the centre of midfield for Harbourview, Nicholas Beckett.
Oh, a late challenge here on Hodges. Beckford puts pressure on. Harding wins the throw and takes it quickly. Low gets it back to Harvey. Skillful McGee. Good pass inside to Weatherly. Weatherly. Oh, the play broken down. So often we've seen this in the game here where the Harbourview attacking plays just are diffused by sometimes unforced errors, sometimes alert, strong defending by Mount Pleasant.
Yeah, Nearing lost a boot in that exchange, and that's why he wanted a call from the referee saying that that proved that he was fouled.
Throw inside brings Price with the alert stop. Save. Manning forward. Oh, the bounce just getting by Benbow.
You know what is true, Lance? What is true is that the Mount Pleasant centre halves have had an easy time of it so far. Apart from Elton Thompson running around making their life a nuisance in the first half, it's been pretty comfortable.
Yeah, it's not been a difficult night here for Mount Pleasant. As I said, there were some brief moments there for Harbourview, but they haven't really, based on their level of disorganization and unforced errors, made things difficult. Shot, oh, that's going through to the near post and apparently caught Vargas's attention there, the strike from Anderson.
Yeah, not bad. From actually Nearing Lance, who had pulled over into the outside right position and tried his luck. And I'm not sure if the keeper would have gotten it if it was on target, because he looked to have been scrambling.
Yeah, just onto the near post there. Vargas's kick out clears the halfway line. With the header out. Weatherly. Alves knocked off the ball by Taylor. Benbow looking for the quick return play. Fouled by Beckett.
Clash of heads. And I wouldn't want to clash heads with Nicholas Beckett, I can tell you that.
It's Rodney who is in real discomfort.
Yeah, this is it. Oh, forearm for Rodney into Beckett's head. I don't know why Rodney was holding his head. May have taken a shot to the midriff though, Lance, to be fair. So that's Newton Shelton getting a lot of love from the fans here this evening. This is his night. And this is how you can contribute to the Luton Shelton effort. GoFundMe, Luton Shelton, or the NCB savings account, 214-233-150. It's a Jamaican dollar savings account held at NCB's Oxford Road branch. And we were told beforehand that he may not stay for the whole game, but the outpouring of love has been such. He seems to be enjoying himself, Lance.
Yeah. The night started out pretty emotional for him. There were tears there in the pre-match tribute to him and so on, but he's looking so relaxed now and just soaking up all the love and the outpouring of support for him in his difficult time.
I think Donovan Duque wants to make a change. I just saw him geeing up his substitutes warming up. Maybe Devon Hodges.
Rodney under some pressure, forced to get the ball back to Campbell. Taylor goes wide. McCullough. Now Mount Pleasant have Harbourview chasing the game. McCullough. Harding. Difficult ball across. Weatherly wins it. Problems here for Mount Pleasant. Weatherly goes for goal. Oh, the rebound. Goal. Harbourview back in business.
Alves, their best attacking player tonight, apart from McGee. Again following up the play. Johan Weatherly Lance was credited for that goal. Really good play from him. Faking to cross with the left. Checks back on the right. So this is the pass forward to him from Harding. Campbell doesn't deal with it effectively. Then Weatherly gathers, tricks Kevin Graham. Then his effort caught the keeper unawares. He saw it late and pounded it into the palm of Alves, who was following up. And there's still life in Harbourview yet.
Yeah, so Weatherly coming on. The 22-year-old spent some time at the Los Angeles Galaxy Youth Academy some years ago. Comes on and puts a delightful cross inside that ends up with Alves striking. And now Mount Pleasant are being given a run for their money. Good skill from McGee. He looks as if he can do anything with the football. Beckett goes wide. Just a little too close to Manning.
And now let's see what the home team does with that second wind, Lance. Because this will have really boosted them, feeling sorry for themselves, and this will affect the changes that Donovan Ducky makes.
Yeah, let's see what happens now. This is going to be a throw to Mount Pleasant on the halfway line. Hodges under some pressure. Taylor. Graham. McCallum. Beckett gets the loose ball. McGee. Anderson. Benbow for Mount Pleasant. Oh, Mount Pleasant now giving the ball away.
Yep.
Chris Harvey to Andre Lowe. Acres of room for Harbourview as they work the ball out of their half of the field. Beckett's pass forward. Oh, here comes McGee. Does a little bit too much and loses the ball to Isaacs. Oh, who gives the ball away? Weatherly. Oh, too much weight on the pass ball. Weatherly looking for Harding.
Yeah, there were two options to his right, including Mark Alves. Frustrated that he chose to go left and then overcooked to the pass. But ever the slightest momentum shift in the game from the moment that goal went in, Lance. There's a change being made. Number 20 coming out. Told you that Devon Hodges looked as if his race was run, and yeah, they're taking the skipper off. He'll not give you 90 minutes these days.
Oh, Benbow takes the captain's armband from him.
Yes.
So Hodges
being replaced by Kesslon Hall.
So Kesslon Hall, one of the original members of the Mount Pleasant team, about to get some playing time for the St. Anne side. And Hodges, whose second goal right now has Mount Pleasant leading by 2-1, exits the game and gets a handshake from his opposite number, Chris Harvey. And there's Kesslon Hall.
I don't think the substitution plans would have changed, because this appears to have been the change Ducky was lining up anyway.
So the fans will love Kesslon Hall coming to get some playing time, getting some reward for being a part of the roster that qualified them in the first place, and he gets into the action immediately. Just a little bit too much weight on the second touch. Price in goal for Harbourview is alert. Hall actually scored the first of 2 goals that beat Barbican by 2-1 in July to ensure Mount Pleasant's passage into the top flight. Oh, late challenger by Lowe. Yellow card from referee Robinson. Free kick to Mount Pleasant. About 22 yards out.
I was just about to tell you that Lowe was struggling with cramp. So when he came across, I knew that he was going to foul, because he didn't have the fitness to chase the player if the ball was touched beyond him. And he just, as they say, he cleaned up.
Ronaldo Rodney.
It's a bad tackle.
Yeah, 2-time Red Stripe Premier League winner with Montego Bay United. In pain, but his persistent play there, winning a free kick in a pretty advantageous looking spot here for Mount Pleasant, and there's Lowe, who's struggling with some discomfort.
I suspect it's cramp. Maybe the calf tightening up on him. And he apologizes to Rodney, who accepts the hand of friendship. Another change being lined up. Timar Lewis looking to enter for Harbourview. Number 42.
So Mount Pleasant, 2 away wins and a draw in their fixtures on the road so far this season. Coming into this match as the best road team and looking to protect that advantage. To the far post, the header, brilliant save by Price.
Superb intervention by the goalkeeper.
Isaacs tackles, he thinks successfully and legally, but referee Robinson disagrees.
Looked like a clean tackle from here, where the referee was right on the button. This is Evan Taylor's swinging free kick. Kemar Beckford going for the diving header, and but for the goalkeeper's intervention, Lance, he would have been in.
Yes, I think so. So Price has done well in goal for Harbourview here tonight. Manning with the clearance. Harvey. Oh, that appeared to be a foul there. The player was being dragged back. Oh, that's Rodney with a strike into the side netting, left footed. Got a lot of power here. He kicks well with both feet, doesn't he?
Yeah, good effort.
Harbourview. Quick transition. McGee pulling the strings in midfield. Harbourview giving the ball away. Beckford. Pulled down by Harding. Free kick to Mount Pleasant. 13 minutes of normal time remaining.
Harding is substituting himself. It's almost as if he fouled so the play could stop, so he could come out and to be replaced by Lewis.
Timar Lewis. On now, there he is. 20-year-old, former Monroe player. Played with Sandals last year in the Red Stripe Premier League. Sandals, of course, just 1 season in the Premier League. Relegated last year with Boys Town. Manning. Threatening cross inside. Easy for Price. Oh, he just came out of the box and kicked there.
I've loved the look of Price this evening, though, Lance.
Yeah. Transfer from Compton Spring. Handball. Yeah, by Nairn.
He needs to be careful. Remember, he's on a yellow card, which should have been red because the referee didn't see that he punched Kareem Manning in the face. Lucky boy. And that's a blatant handball.
Yeah. And he remonstrates with the referee. So he's had a bit of a temperamental night. Graham, long kick downfield. Hall tries to fight hard for the ball. Oh, the referee gets in the way. Taylor. Isaacs. Manning. Campbell. McCullough. Brave. Taylor. Beckett is hurt, but he was the one that committed the foul.
Old friends colliding, Lance. Taylor taking no prisoners. And Beckett not really going in full throttle. And coming off the worst.
Yeah, they pretty much exchanged holding midfield roles for Harbourview while Taylor was at Harbourview. Now in his first season at Mount Pleasant, having also played at Reno in the past. And did have a short stint at Charleston Battery in the USL Pro League as well. There he's with a free kick. Evan Taylor right to the far post. Hall trying to get the header on. Just over 10 minutes of normal time now remaining. And Vargas, I would suspect it's a little bit too early to be killing time now, but that's what he's doing.
Well, this is why Donovan Luque went out and got so much experience in his squad, Lance. For moments like these, in a game like this, where it can slip away from them, they can drop 2 points or even 3. It's up to his experienced players now to see out this game, to manage this game effectively for the last 10 minutes or so.
There's Taylor, solid holding midfielder for Mount Pleasant, as he was for Harbourview in his playing days while he was here at this Harbourview Mini Stadium. Hall breaks free down the right for Mount Pleasant. Oh, cuts the ball back delightfully. Benbow! And Talbot is there to make the clearance, or the interception. Now goes Weatherly for Harbourview. Cuts inside well, Weatherly. McGee. Hardly wastes the ball, McGee. Anderson. Oh, good skill. Goes for goal! What a strike! Just missing the near post. What a player this 19-year-old is.
Brilliant from Tariq McGee. Absolutely classy. The slightest fake right here to get rid of Kevon Isaacs. Then lines it up and didn't miss by much. Did not miss by much. Oops. Take a bus pass, young man, and bang. Man down for Mount Pleasant. I almost said Mount Industry. Man down for Mount Pleasant.
Maybe it's the industry that McGee is showing that triggered that word from you.
Bebeto McDonald in the meantime has come in for Shamar Neer. So Harbourview have made all 3 changes.
McDonald, former Charlie Smith Manning Cup player, also spent some time at Boys Town in the Red Stripe Premier League. Actually scored a couple of goals for Boys Town last season. On now for the home team. But McGee at 19 years old, George, there's always been the question about young players trying to make an impact in the top flight here. And McGee has answered resoundingly that he's ready for this level.
Yeah,
watched by many, including Luton Shelton.
Yeah, speaking of ready, are you ready to donate to the Luton Shelton recovery effort? The NCB savings account, 214233150, Jamaican dollar denominated account, held at NCB's Oxford Road branch. Give what you can for that man, the cap being fitted again by his wife, who's been his rock in this very difficult time.
7 minutes of normal time remaining. It's been an entertaining match for sure, and I would think even if they lose the game here, Harbourview, which there is still time to avoid that happening, the fans would have been happy that they at least got a goal back and put some fight in the game.
Yeah, but here's the problem. Ricardo Gardner is tired of taking positives from games. He wants to take points.
Manning. Harbourview on the counter. McDonald, the substitute. Now there goes Weatherly. Now McGee. Oh, his first touch wasn't as good as it needed to be, so they lost the ball.
Yeah, but Weatherly's saying he was fouled off the ball. The referee not buying into that claim.
Hall. Beckford. Hall goes sprinting away down the middle channel. Oh, Beckford shows great skill here. Rodney holding the ball up. McCalla. Oh, the fans are liking what they're seeing from Mount Pleasant. Beckford. Anderson. challenges from behind and knocks him over.
Yeah, that was a Zidane-esque pirouette from Bickford just now to get rid of 3 defenders.
Yeah, we have seen some moments of quality here on the night. McDonald. His pass not as accurate as it needed to be. Evan Taylor wins it. And the pacey Benbow gets to the ball. Looks for Rodney. Rodney's under pressure from Harvey. Throw to Mount Pleasant, close to the corner flag.
Yeah,
Less than 5 minutes remaining.
Yeah, and that's where they want to keep it for some time, Mount Pleasant. Another change being lined up, Lance. Mount Pleasant are going to bring in number 26, Romario Campbell.
Mario Campbell, can now call him a veteran at 28 years old, former Waterhouse standout. A player with a lot of quality, but I say over the years has had some fitness issues. Harbour View trying to get something out of the game. Tamar Lewis's pass wide to McDonald. Lewis. McGee. Weatherly. Anderson. The cross. Shot driven on goal. Brilliant strike. McCallum makes the second clearance. Nicholas Beckett for Harbour View, the former captain, brings out another save from Vargas on the night.
Yeah, that was meaty. Cleared by Isaacs. One touch by Beckett to settle himself. Goalkeeper saw that all the way though. Yeah, number 17 coming off on Pleasant Lance, and number 26 from Romario Campbell, Rum coming in. So Rodney's day race is run. Dookie makes this change, Nance, because he wants some more midfield control. I'm sure he'll tell us post-match that they're giving the ball away a little bit too easily for his liking at this stage. He wants that control to see out this result.
Yeah, probably because of legs as well. They've given a lot tonight, Mount Pleasant. They've worked really hard tonight. Romario Rum Campbell on now for Mount Pleasant. Throw to Harbour View. We're running out of time. Less than 3 minutes of normal time remaining. Taylor in no haste for the throw to be executed. For obvious reasons, they're in front by 2 goals to 1 and on the verge of securing 3 points on the road. Ball being forced through, looking for Hall. So Mount Pleasant poised here for their 3rd road win in 4 trips away from home since the start of the season.
Bad news for Harbour View. Chris Harvey struggling with a leg injury. Saw him just gesture to the bench, and he's hobbling up towards the half-line, Lance.
That's Alves, the scorer for Harbour View, now in discomfort as well. Maybe cramps. A minute of normal time on the clock, plus time to be added on for stoppages. Harbour View with an opportunity here. McGee stands behind it. Vargas in goal for Mount Pleasant, sets his wall up. McGee looks as if he will aim for the far corner. McGee strike straight into the wall. Kimar. Beckford does well, change of pace. Wow, gets a bit of a bad bounce and makes a mess of the cross.
Yeah, and it looks as if he did something bad, but as you correctly said, unevenness of the surface betraying him there.
Yeah, you could see the bubble just as he was about to make the cross inside. Talbot, who had a good game tonight for Harbourview, taking care of Hodges, making things difficult for the 34-year-old Mount Pleasant striker. But there's the story for Harbourview tonight. Unforced errors, just giving the ball away. Lewis and McGee exchanging passes. McDonald. McGee.
Yeah, Chris Harvey can hardly walk, so he's now playing forward.
Yeah. Benbow with a breakaway. Can something happen here for Mount Pleasant? Hall puts the chase on. Talbot has gone with him. Five minutes being added on for stoppages. McCullough. Beckford. Benbow. Time for some exhibition stuff from the former St. George's College man. Oh, now they've idled a bit too much and lost it. McDonald charges forward for Harbourview. Evan Taylor gets in there and makes the clearance.
Oh, he's had a big game, Evan Taylor.
Beckett. Harvey really struggling. Isaacs under pressure. Hurriedly makes a cross across to McCullough. Hall puts the chase on. He came on as a super sub, but he has been doing a lot of chasing and maybe getting a little tired as well. McGee. 2 minutes of the 5 added on already expired, and Taylor has it now for Mount Pleasant. Wow. He looks as if he is running the clock. Here's Marcelino Blackburn, Harbourview 33-year-old who was not on the roster tonight. Former Charlie Smith and Arnett Gardens player. McGee. Beckett. McDonald. Alves takes the return play.
Trying to buy a free kick, lads.
With two Mount Pleasant players no got down close to the corner flag. And Alves is wondering what's happening here.
Yeah, and a few missiles being thrown from the crowd. Not a good thing to see. Benbow is one of them. And then Kareem Manning. And then, yeah, all fall down like 9 pins in a bowling alley, lads.
Man of the match honors tonight, George. Benbow certainly a factor.
Yeah, Evan Taylor a factor.
A minute and a half of time added on remaining. And Mount Pleasant are on the verge of 3 points on the road.
Yeah, but Cardel Benbow for his goal and for his overall play, I wouldn't begrudge him the man of the match award tonight.
Harbourview looking for a lifeline here. Almost squeezing through to McDonald. Price has left his goal area for Harbourview. He's played a delightful ball in. Oh, the effort really high and over the top. From Andre Lowe, look of disappointment from Ricardo Bibi Gardner, the Harbourview boss.
Tonight it's been a full-blooded affair. Both sets of players, Lance, look absolutely smashed. The Mount Pleasant players, I don't think have anything else to give. They've run their socks off. And a change being made late. Number 19 coming in. Coming out, Cardel Benbow. Number 12 coming in. That's Latroy Leng to replace Benbow as Dookie tries to milk the clock.
Yeah, so Benbow has given his all tonight, or MVP on the night, Cardel Benbow.
Remember, he took a knock in the first half to the knee.
Yeah.
That may have just caught up with him.
Right. So the 5 minutes now expired. So we're now on borrowed time. Mount Pleasant in front by 2-1 and on the verge of joining Portmore top of the table on 13 points. Portmore, though, with a superior goal difference. Harbourview working hard inside their own half. Good pass inside. And now McKee gives the ball away. Whistle. Free kick to Harbourview, and they're moving very quickly, Harbourview, because they know that time is pretty much out on them. They've got to make this play as quickly as they can to give themselves an opportunity to strike a late equalizer. Anderson. The whistle from referee Robinson, and Mount Pleasant 3 wins on the road from 4 games, undefeated on the road. They're now joined top of the table on 13 points with Portmore. Portmore, though, holding the advantage on goal difference. But look at the smiles on the Mount Pleasant faces, although there's fatigue as well. There's the score for Harbourview. Mark Alves and the successful coach, Donovan Dookie, gets a congratulatory greeting from the Harbourview assistant coach, Fabian Taylor. Vargas had a good night in goal for Mount Pleasant tonight. Stopped a brilliant strike from Nicholas Beckett from the free kick, and also prevented Alves from saving as well. A night that we have honored and paid tribute to Luton Shelton in the red cap, Jamaica's all-time leading goal scorer, afflicted by the disease amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, a degenerative disease that has taken the body of this young man away. 2-1 the final score. Mount Pleasant defeating Harbourview at the Harbourview Mini Stadium. Back with the match highlights and post-game show after this break.
Mr. One bag of gold medal pan me now. Red stripe alone champion boy go. Pan a pour them a singing anthem to. Red stripe, watch out, watch out, watch out. Man, shall I make a forward boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy score. Every goal winner run from boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy now. Back down we run him marathon boy. The Red stripe Premier League champion boy, yeah, yeah.
So the final score, strikes by Benbow and Hodges, giving Mount Pleasant the victory by 2-1 over Harbourview, who got their goal from Mark Alves. It was a night of real exciting action. Mount Pleasant putting the pressure on pretty early. Hodges sending the ball across. Rodney's terrific strike, punched away by William Price. That had a bullet-like pace, but Price was right there. Look at the save from Vargas on the near post from the Nicholas Beckett free kick. And the double save, in fact, because Harvey came in there with a second strike. More problems here for Harbourview. The ball set across here to Bushy Beckford, who crashes the ball onto the crossbar, and Benbow comes up also onto the crossbar. And another effort here from Kimar Beckford, turned around by Lowe, almost into his own goal, but behind for a corner kick. But an impressive passage of play there by Mount Pleasant, who really had the Harbourview defenders in panic mode. Harbourview had their moments. Here is Hodges setting across to Benbow, who side foots the ball, left footed, to give Mount Pleasant the advantage. Harbourview defenders appealing for an offside call there against Benbow. No flag, no whistle. Benbow's second goal of the season, and the 23-year-old puts Mount Pleasant in front by 1-0 early in the second half. Hodges picks up the loose ball on the far post from this Evan Taylor cross, left-footed, and bangs the ball hard, low, to the right of goalkeeper William Price, and Mount Pleasant are in front by 2-0. Harbourview would pull one back here. Weatherly, the second half substitute, doing well. Gets rid of Graham. His cross inside, parried partially by Vargas, and Alves sneaks up on the far post to crash the ball in hard and low with the left boot, and Harbourview given a lifeline there with a 2-1 scoreline, but no more goals for the rest of the half, and Mount Pleasant would come up with a victory by 2-1. 14 attempts on goal by Mount Pleasant, 5 of them on target, much fewer for Harbourview. 24 fouls in the match, 2 yellow cards each for the two teams. Harbourview having more ball possession at 54%, but it's the statistic at the top that matters. Harbourview 1, Mount Pleasant 2, and Mount Pleasant are now joined top of the table with Portmore. Portmore continuing to lead on goal difference. Cardel Benbow, the man of the match, with George Davis.
Thank you very much, Lance. So I'm here with our man of the match, Cardel Benbow. Cardel, well, this award is yours, first of all. Congratulations. You have quite a few of these now. Tell me about the game.
It's a very tough game. I just thank God for these 3 points.
It was a big night for Harbourview, an emotional night. You would have known about Luton Shelton from his past exploits. What did you think about the turnout for him tonight?
It's pretty much great. You know, we just try to not to get carried away, focus on a game, and we come out to those 3 points, and thank God we get it.
Your coach said that the loss to Dunbeholden was a sort of a reality check for you. He was happy for that reality check. Do you think the boys are regrouped and focused now, taking each game on merit and treating every opponent with respect?
That's the thing. Each game we just take it serious. Losing against Dunbeholden is just like a rebound. You know, I think we might get comfortable, and it's like a wake-up call for us.
Well, Cardel, good display from you in front of the national coach and a big crowd. All the best for you for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Cardel Benbow there, our man of the match. He is the man who provided the first goal for Mount Pleasant this evening. I'm speaking now with Ricardo Gardner, the Harbourview coach. From your perspective, we saw you very animated in the first half. Defensively, you looked panicky when the ball was played in the back, and your players kept giving the ball away easily, unforced errors. What must have been a frustrating night for you?
Yeah, definitely. I think we could have done a lot better when we are in possession. I think we did a pretty decent job in the first half in terms of our defending, but we have to know when to manage the game and when the opponent is giving us the game and when we need to take the game up in hand, because when we went 2-1 up, I think they played into our hands, but we didn't take advantage. We need to settle a little bit more when we're in possession and be a little bit more patient. And I think our speed of play could be a lot better, and I think that would have helped us in the end. But I think we gave up 2 sloppy goals, and at the end of the day, we have to know that football play in 90 minutes and over, and not just if you go 1-0 or 2-0 down, but we have to play until the final whistle. And I think if we knew that and played our heart out from when 2-0 down, we would have stand a better opportunity of coming back into the game and get a better result.
There were so many positives to take, of course. You said that there were aspects of the first half that were good and aspects of the second half that were good. Still bits and pieces, but there is enough to suggest that you can turn things around with these boys.
Yeah, definitely. I think we have a pretty decent bunch. We just have to keep on working hard in training and keep on believing, because at the end of the day, it's not how you start the race, but it's how you finish it. So we just have to keep on working at our job each day.
Thank you very much, Ricardo.
Yeah, man, thanks.
Ricardo Gardner there, the coach of Harbourview, dropping points again at home, 2-1 to Mount Pleasant. The coach of Mount Pleasant walks into the shot now, Donovan. We remarked on commentary that your team looked sharp from the get-go, aggressive running, hard running, and they came to play tonight. How satisfied were you with the quality of the work put in by your team over the 90 minutes?
Really, in pre-competition phase, we did a lot of work. We have been working now for 2.5 months in pre-season. We have had a good start in the Premier League. It's a momentum that we intend to carry. We have a comfortable depth of players, and for the last 3 games we have made some rotations, and it's paying dividend for us. We started the game on a high tempo, and it was key for us. We put them on the back foot. We allowed some things. We took away some things from them. We allowed them to play out of the back. they get caught in transition a lot, and that helped us in our transition game. We had a few openings. We weren't clinical in the first half. I think we spoke at halftime. We spoke about being more patient in the final third. We wanted to get more numbers. We wanted to make that entry pass behind their back line. It paid dividend for us when Benbow finished clinically. I thought it was beautiful taken by him. He held his composure good. Hodges follow up soon after. It was 2-0. But in minute 70, as far as my recollection tells me, we gave up a soft goal. I thought we created a goal for them. We were very tentative when we were playing out of the back. So psychologically, we definitely put us in a defensive transition mode, and they took the opportunity. Anyone would know that at 2-0, when the momentum shift, it would have been very dangerous for us. We lived on the edge towards the end of the game. I thought we held our composure. Harbour was always in the game. They controlled the game for the most part of the second half, but you would say sterile possession in some areas that they could have controlled the game, but it's good for us.
Yeah. Finally, you had the 3 points in the bag, so I can ask you this. In terms of a report card, grading the team overall out of 10, what will you give the boys tonight?
Well, definitely for me, it's a 10 because of the 3 points, but it's a 6 performance for us. There are more things that we could do better. There are things that we can improve on, and it's a work in progress for us.
Excellent. Thank you, Donovan.
Thank you very much.
Donovan Duque there, the winning coach, giving his team a 6 out of 10 for the quality of the performance. But of course, it's a 10 out of 10 performance because they got the 3 points. So Lance, we saw a good game here at Harbourview, a game befitting the occasion of Monday Night Football, and of course, Shelton Strong. That's the theme of the evening. We got a good game. It's a pity the Harbourview family didn't get the good result.
Yeah, disappointing for Harbourview that their poor form continues here. Problems for them for sure. They're 11th in the point standings at the moment, and at the moment no immediate sign of them restructuring their game to start getting better results. But credit to Mount Pleasant, they started off very well, as Coach Donovan Duque said. He thought they could have been a little bit more patient in the first half, but certainly they bossed the game, and from the opening whistle they looked the better team, and I think thoroughly deserved the victory.
Absolutely so. So Harbourview playing well in patches once again. You can't help but be impressed by Tyreek McGee, Lance, and you wonder how big this young man's future will be if he continues in the current vein.
Yeah, he's one of the bright spots for Harbourview for sure so far for the season. They have started off the season pretty badly. Only 1 win now from their first 6 matches. The same way they started last year. Last year they had just 1 win from their first 6 matches, so they have problems starting off the season. Last year they recovered to do well to get into the playoffs, but McGee is a bright spark in their current setup, and with Peter Lee Vassell out with an injury tonight, I could see him coming in, putting some more spark into the midfield, and them turning their fortunes around, but they've got to do it quickly. Absolutely. They can't afford to be giving up points so early in the season.
Yes, indeed. The good thing is that this is not a team that is losing and playing badly. There are bright shoots, but Harbourview just needs to get it all to come together. Coming up on the channel on Tuesday, live 2 p.m., 3 p.m. ECT on Sportsmax, the UEFA Champions League, Manchester United at home to Cristiano Ronaldo and Juventus. On Wednesday, the Champions League again, same Sportsmax, Wednesday 2 p.m., 3 p.m. ECT, Paris Saint-Germain at home to Napoli.
Yeah, on Wednesday morning, 3 a.m., 4 o'clock Eastern Caribbean time, India taking a 1-0 lead into the second one-day international against the Windies. And on Thursday, more football action coming up on the channel. The Europa League, it's on Sportsmax. Sporting up against Arsenal. You can see that at 12 noon, 1 o'clock Eastern Caribbean time.
Yeah, then the NBA on Thursday night, 9:30 p.m., 10:30 p.m. ECT on Sportsmax. The Denver Nuggets are playing well. The LA Lakers haven't won a game yet. That should be a good basketball game on Thursday night.
Yeah, and coming up on Friday night, look out for the Fast 5 netball tournament. Australia up against Malawi. The Jamaicans are also in action. It starts at 9:45 in the 10:30 game, 11:30 Eastern Caribbean time. Jamaica against South Africa, and after that, look out for New Zealand up against England. So that's the Fast 5 Netball Championship live on Sportsmax coming up this weekend.
Yeah, the next RSPL Monday Night Football game will be played at the Catherine Hall Sports Complex. Montego Bay United, the home team. Reno, the visitors, live Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern Caribbean time on Sportsmax 2.
So wall-to-wall coverage of exciting sporting action on Sportsmax and Sportsmax 2. You can't afford to be anywhere else. It was a pleasure bringing this match here to you tonight. Red Stripe Football Mondays, the Luton Shelton Show. GoFundMe, the outstanding former Jamaica striker
suffering from the ALS disease, and hundreds, thousands of fans coming out tonight to support this venture and paying twice the entry fee to watch Red Stripe Football Mondays. Harbourview beaten by Mount Pleasant 2-1 in Red Stripe Football Mondays. Mount Pleasant now top of the table jointly on 13 points with Portmore. We'll be back again, Red Stripe Football Mondays, next week in Montego Bay.
Red Stripe, Premier League. I miss one bag of gold medal pan me now. Red Stripe alone champion boy go. Pan a pour them a singing anthem. Red Stripe, watch out. Band shall I be the forward boy. Red Stripe Premier League champion boy score. Every goal when I run from boy. Red Stripe Premier League champion boy now. Pop down we run the marathon boy. The wish I never made it that the champion boy pan. Now man I done a songsters boy. Red Stripe Premier League champion boy.